Go ahead.
All right. Hey, Tayshia, how are you today?
I'm so good. How are you?
I'm doing good. It's so wonderful to talk to you today because not only is it exciting that you are our second Black bachelorette, I would argue that you are definitely one of the best that we've seen so far on the screen. You are just so wonderful to watch. And I feel like the audience is really following your journey to find love. I wanted to talk about during the summer, we had a lot of Black Lives Matter protests and calls for changes in production and casting with ABC. And I know you've been on Colton season of The Bachelor and you were on Bachelor in Paradise. And now to jump into your own season, have you seen any significant changes or changes that are being implemented in talks with that?
You know, in my experience since being on Colton season, I've always felt very appreciated and heard, and like I had the resources that I needed. And so I never really, had vocalized, I don't feel like I'm getting the experience that everybody else is getting.
Right.
And then when I became the Bachelorette, I'm seeing a different side of things. I have a little bit more people to talk to and all that kind of stuff. But I'm actually blown away at the resources that I do have. And I think that have been so helpful. And so whether it being me being the first person to have those resources, I am so happy that I have them because that means that we're progressing in a different direction. In a better direction, if you will, you know? So I feel really good about, the way that I've been able to take on everything.
Awesome. That's so great to hear. And I feel like your season, there has been more blindfolds than usual, but and a lot more naked dates. What did you think of your dates that you had this season while you were in quarantine?
That's funny. I mean, I guess as the audience might be seeing, it might seem like a lot of naked dates, but really when I was there, the first date we had like a splash ball. So obviously they had to get in like swimming attire, So that was one thing, and then there was a wrestling date. But other than that, I don't really know any other dates that, require them to like take off their clothes or anything like that. For me personally, or blindfolds. I know that Ivan did blindfold me and stuff like that. It's all fun and games. I don't think, and there have been times like where people are like, I just don't really feel comfortable doing that. And you're like, okay, that's totally fine. I've never really had an issue with anyone feeling like,
Right. Yeah. The guys all seem like they've been really good sports thus far. I know you can't give too much away about anything, but if you can talk about a little bit, when did you come to the realization about your top two picks?
It was really tough. I think for a while there was just so many qualities of these men that I was just like, how can you choose? Because they're so amazing. And I feel very connected with a lot of them. But at the end of the day, I just think you have to start looking like what you want for your future, how you're going to raise your family, what you hope for, what your ambition is, and see who's best aligned with you for that. And I think that that's kind of helped me narrow it down. Also, just talking to my family, I think that really comes into play because I really value their input on things, because they're not just, if I'm with someone that's not just with me, to be honest, you're also going to get my family in it. So as long as everybody's comfortable, then that's kind of like what
I love that. So you're looking for a family man.
Absolutely. You have to have a family man.
Yes, for sure. And I have to ask this personally. You just radiate on the screen for me. What is your skincare routine?
Girl, we could go into a whole segment about that. I'm a skincare junkie, but it's honestly, keep it simple. I have a couple of serums that I use. Wash your face in the morning. I have a couple of serums that I use, and I really stick to the basics. I don't really play around with too much because I do have acne prone skin, so it will react quite a bit. But just a lot of clean beauty, but I can go into that a whole nother time if you want. I got you.
Definitely. I was like, acne, you said acne prone skin. I'm like, where? I can't tell. You just, every time you're on the screen, you radiate. It's so
Oh,
nice.
thank you.
Um, no problem, no problem. And I wanted to ask, is there anything that you've wanted to talk about or share with your fans or viewers that you haven't really gotten to discuss yet?
You know, I guess one thing would be like, clearly you're seeing me have like a lot of really in-depth conversations with these guys.
Mhm.
Um, and I think that that's such a good thing, but I just want that to be known that it should be like a normal thing to really get to know somebody before really committing to them, because marriage is a big deal. If you're not talking about things that are happening in the world, like, you need to divulge to all those things. And but also like having grace on yourself. I didn't I'm coming into my own. I'm 30 years old, still finding my voice. I'm still becoming comfortable in my own skin. And so
Mhm.
I think it's so easy, especially with this year, like how heavy everything has been, that all of us are kind of like learning and realizing a lot of things that we don't have the answers for, and that's okay.
Right.
But it all happens in time. And so I think, yeah, sometimes people are like, look, like, well, why didn't you say more about this? Why didn't,
Mhm.
how do you have the answers for this? It all happens within time. Like you were all developing it, whenever it's supposed to happen. So just have grace.
Right.
Have grace.
Mhm. Yeah, I love that. I love that. That's such a important note to take away from 2020, because I feel like 2020 was such a hard year for so many people, and sometimes they can forget that. Um, I'm wondering too, do you keep up with social media in terms of your season? Like, do you like read the tweets, or do you agree with what the fans are saying about about some of your guys? Or are you like, oh wow, I didn't realize that they thought that about this person? Um, yeah, what has been your thought, like checking out social media while the show has been airing?
Yeah, I do. I see a lot of things. I see most of try to like interact, and I try to like message back people.
Mhm.
To be honest, I feel like I've gotten such an overwhelming positive response about everything. I think,
Well, you've been great. Like, you
thank you.
really have.
Thank you. I know like even some people said like, but why would you send like when I this past season or episode when I sent Easy Home? And it's just
Mhm.
more people just have to understand like you never want to lead somebody on. I think at the end of the day,
Right.
that's not your person. Like mutual respect, and as hard as that was, at the end of the day, I'm gonna have to get rid of, most everybody because I'm breaking up with them because it's not right and I'm trying to find my person. So I can't leave with all of them, even though I wish I could. But it's nice reading everybody's input, and everyone's so sweet and so positive, and I hope that everyone continues to love it.
Mhm. Awesome. Yeah, I feel like it's been a really good response. And then for my last question, can you say that you are happy right
Yes.
now? Okay.
Yes, but I'm just a happy girl. Like all is well. Like I'm so
Right.
blessed. Again, 2020, things have been put into perspective. Um,
Mhm.
and I'm very blessed. So I'm very happy.
Yeah, and I know the fans are going to be looking forward to everything that you do in the future, because you've just been so radiant and so great, and like a breath of fresh air for the franchise. So marriage or not, this will be really exciting to see. And I know the fans can't wait to see what you do next. So thank you so much for talking with me today.
Thank you. You're gonna make me tear up. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Of course. Have a good evening.
You too. Bye.